Welcome back to segment 4 of Super Bowl 101. We're going to do some great plays in Super Bowl history, and I'll get to those in a moment. And we're a little over just an hour and 22 minutes away from 2 hours and 22 minutes away from kickoff at 6:30. So we're actually, yeah, it is about an hour and a half, something like that. But we'll get to that. But first, here is Super Bowl 101 trivia question for segment 4. What team holds the record for forcing the most turnovers in a Super Bowl? And I will have the answer later in the podcast. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about some greatest plays in Super Bowl history. Patrick Mahomes, my first one, in Super Bowl 54. The Chiefs needed a spark as they trailed the 49ers by 10 late in the fourth quarter. They got it after Mahomes hit Tyreek Hill for a 14-yard strike on a 3rd and 15 play. The completion set up the first of 3 unanswered touchdowns by the Chiefs, who pulled away for a 31-20 win in Super Bowl 54. That's my first one. My next one is Joe Montana in Super Bowl 23. Trailing 16-13, Joe Montana led the 49ers on a 92-yard drive that was punctuated by Montana's game-winning touchdown pass to Joe Taylor, who hadn't caught a pass until that point in the game. Montana's brilliance was only part of the reason why the 49ers won their 3rd Super Bowl of the decade, while Montana threw for then Super Bowl record 356 yards. Jerry Rice tallied 215 yards and receiving, which remains the Super Bowl single game record to this day. And the drive started with Montana letting his teammates know that comedian John Candy was enjoying the action from his seat on the other side of the stadium. Montana's observation, while surprising, relaxed his teammates before they embarked on their historic drive. And one last one that I do have, and that's John Stallworth in Super Bowl 14. Champions of the past 5 years, the Pittsburgh Steelers were on the serious jeopardy, but of being upset by a gritty Rams squad entering the fourth quarter. They trailed 19-17. Lynn Swann was injured and was no longer in the game. Pittsburgh's formidable running game was nowhere to be found, and Terry Bradshaw had already thrown 3 interceptions. One play, however, changed everything. Facing a 3rd and 8 from his own 27, Steelers coach Chuck Noll instructed Bradshaw to throw a deep pass to Stallworth that Bradshaw had no success completing during that week's practices. Undaunted, Bradshaw called the play, then executed it to perfection. He lifted a thrown pass to Stallworth, who caught it over the outstretched hands of Rod Perry before running the remaining distance to pay the dirt. And the 73-yard score gave Pittsburgh the lead for good, and they would go on to win Super Bowl 14. And I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do a little more of the greatest plays. Uh, uh, and those are only the three because I didn't know how long this was gonna uh, add and keep. Uh, and I'm gonna. Uh, 70 chip. Now, this was a play called by, this is back in the 70s. This was a play called by Washington, which trailed the Miami Dolphins 17-13 on a fourth and one in the fourth quarter of Super Bowl 17. And uh, the ball went to running back John Riggins, who running behind his dominant Hogs offensive line ran through the tackle of defensive back Don McNeil before busting down the left sideline for a 43-yard touchdown. The Finns wouldn't overcome the touchdown. The Finns wouldn't overcome. So that was one that Washington won that one, as you know, in '83, uh, and I'm gonna do here's another one that I have for you. Uh, Jim Harrison's interception return. The Steelers pass rushing linebacker dropped into coverage on a hunch and picked off Cardinals quarterback Kurt Warner at the goal line before a 100-yard tightrope sprint up the sideline for a TD completed what was at least a 10-point swing before halftime in Super Bowl 43, which Pittsburgh won by 4 points. And Burrow bag. This is another one I've selected. Trailing 23-20 inside the final minute of Super Bowl 56. Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow was trying to pull one more rabbit out of the hat from midfield. Instead, the Los Angeles Rams defensive lineman uh, uh, Aaron Donald burst through the line on what turned out to be, since his final play, ragdolling Joey B into a depression incompletion that put the game on ice. Donald pointing to his ring finger, indicating where his new ice would be featured. So that was one that, and of course, we know that the Rams won that one. Uh, and we're going to get some more of this in just a second. But right now, it's time to reveal the answer to the segment 4 trivia question of Super Bowl 101. What team holds the record for forcing the most turnovers in a Super Bowl? Have you said the Dallas Cowboys? You are correct. In Super Bowl 27, Dallas forced a record 9 turnovers, 4 interceptions, and 5 lost fumbles en route to their win over Buffalo. Now I have another trivia question in the next segment, which is segment 5, and that is coming up. So that will be coming up in the next segment. But right now, I'm going to do a little more of the greatest plays. I've done about 5. I think it's about, yeah, it's about 5 or 6. 5 I've done. This is number 6. Mario Manningham's catch. 4 years after being victimized by Tyree, the Patriots fell prey to an amazing 38-yard completion from Eli Manning to Manningham with 3:39 to go on the Giants' game-winning drive of Super Bowl 46. Manningham barely got his feet down at midfield to at midfield, a play the Patriots unsuccessfully challenged, and I think we know that New England ended up winning that Super Bowl. So uh, this is a Julian Edelman shoestring snatch. The Patriots. This is number 7. The Patriots slot man extraordinaire snared a ball that was deflected and nearly intercepted by Falcons quarterback Robert Alford. Microns above the turf, extending New England's game-tying drive after the team had fallen behind 28-3 in the second half of Super Bowl 51. It was also a welcome turn of events for Pats fans who'd suffered through script flipping catches by Tyree and Manningham. So this was that was one that the another one that the Patriots have won. So, but it was something to see in Super Bowl 51. Here's number 8 that I have for you right now. The lights go out in New Orleans with the 49ers trailing the Baltimore Ravens 23 to 6, 28 to 6, excuse me, in the third quarter of Super Bowl 47. Half of the Superdome's lights lost power, causing a 30-minute delay. The Niners surged back and eventually cutting the lead to 2 before ultimately uh, succumbing. And I think we know that the uh, the Baltimore Ravens went on to win, or no, I think it was San Francisco that won that one. And here's number 9, Ty Loss, pick 6. This is the ninth one that I've selected. Decided underdogs against the Rams in 2002. The Patriots were hanging around, excuse me, in the second quarter, trailing 3-0. But Law pilfered a Warner pass down the right sideline intended for Bruce, and arm held high, raced 47 yards for a touchdown and a 7-3 lead. New England would not relinquish. And we know the Patriots won that Super Bowl that year in 2002. Uh, on the this is a title Seahawks safety is number 10 that I've picked. On the first play from scrimmage at Super Bowl 48, Broncos center Manny Ramirez snap sailed over the head of Peyton Manning and into the end zone, giving Seattle a 2-0 lead. No one knew it then, but the game was essentially over as the Seahawks would score the first 36 points in a 48-3-8 laughter. So that was kind of a lopsided Super Bowl then. Uh, this is my number 11th one. Another one, John Stallworth's big catch. He's often overshadowed by teammate Swan, but Stallworth's 73-yard TD grab from Bradshaw in the fourth quarter finally put the Steelers ahead for good. What had been a nip and tuck Super Bowl 14. This is what I already gave to you. I guess I repeated it. And against the LA Rams. Uh, uh, now, this is the number 12 one that I've picked out. This is probably going to be the final. Marcus Allen, 74-yard TD. It was really icing on the cake as the Los Angeles Raiders took a 35-9 third quarter lead over Washington in Super Bowl 18. But the MVP's ability to find daylight after reversing his field on what looked like a doomed play had President Ronald Reagan at the time uh, gipping after the game. I have already got a call from Moscow. They think Marcus Allen is a new secret weapon, and they insist that we dismantle him. But Marcus Allen was the MVP of that Super Bowl that year. And that wraps up just the top 12 of the greatest plays of all time in Super Bowl history. And we're going to be we're gonna take a break, and I'm gonna upload this segment. And when we come back for segment 5, uh, is up. We're going to talk about Patrick Mahomes and his grandfather being on hospice care, and he hopes to give his grandfather another amazing gift. So, stay with us. We're coming right back for segment number 5 of Super Bowl 101. More to come. Stay tuned.